we must learn about Nasser. So let's go! Nasserism is... Let's just quickly look at Nasserism for a quick... just very quickly. So, Nasserism. Anti-nationalism, left-wing nationalism, progressivism, secularism, republicanism. Quite actually good ideas. Level populism and socialism, Africans. Third worldism, pan-Arabism, anti-imperialism, and anti-Zionism. So, right off the bat, it seems quite good. So that's why I'm doing this video, because I've read a bit about Nasser and it seems relatively good. Obviously Nasser like one part state shit like but like I think okay, when you're in a situation like this, like Egypt during this time, there are some it is sometimes you need to do compromises to stay fucking alive. But I want to know what was Nasser like? What was it like? Was it leftist? Was it pretend leftist or was it actually leftist? What I mean by like there were many like dictatorships during this time, during like say the Arab Cold War, that would pretend to be left wing just to get some weapons from the Soviet Union. Like yeah, like Ba'athist Iraq, technically socialist. Arab socialism is technically Baathism. Uh, well, I want to quickly check. Does Wikipedia call Baathism a does Arab Social Ba'athist Party, does it call itself left wing ideology? Political within the right wing. Okay, this gives me hope. Technically, Iraqi militarism, Iraqi nationalism, Arabian social, pan-Arabism, anti-imperial secularism, political Islamism, authoritarian populism, and anti-Zionism. Technically, is a socialist party. That it calls itself right wing probably shows us that it's quite important. Arab Social Ba'athist Party, Iraqi region. Former MPs ideology. That's nice. So there's a good chance that Nasserism isn't some just for far right dictatorship that just pretend to be left wing. That's nice. So, do you want to learn about the background of Egypt before we do Nasser? Let's just quickly look at the belligerents on both sides. Saudi Arabia, King, Ba'athist Party, Jordan, Morocco, Kingdom, Egypt, and here, until Arab Social Republics and Arab Republic of Egypt since 48. The Federal Emirate of Southern Federation of Southern Arabia, Protection of Southern Arabia, Kingdom Egypt, North Egypt, and these were Soviets, Republic of China, People's Republic of China, France, Algeria, Afghanistan, Canada, Iraq. Well, let's send to you. Okay, yeah, Yugoslavia Limited, commanders, leaders. Oh, I recognize that flag. Slovenia of the People's Democratic Republic of Egypt. Look, that's like the lefty part. That's like the Look, I heard it's quite left wing, so yeah, that's good. That's quite a good sign of it. Okay, that has been a lot of fucking yapping for until we can actually start reading. Let's actually read a bit. So, in the 1950s and 1960s, Nasser was among the most popular political ideology in the Arab world. This is especially true following the Suez Crisis of 1956, known as Egypt as the tripartite aggression, the political outcome of which was seen as validation of Nasserism and the treatment of the Western imperialist powers. During the Cold War, its influence also fell in other parts of Africa as development of world political regions with anti-imperialist and non-alignment. The scale of Arab defense in the Six-Day War of 1967 and damage of the Nasser and the ideological association with him. Through surviving Nasser's death in 1970, certain important tenets of Nasser were revised and adopted totally by successors during the tension of the Zakaria was a reform pro-launching Friedrich Nasser members of government and the pro-Soviet left wing during the upper support of peasant and later the Intifada. Upon these decayed the rule of Sabat Hossein, who was the ruling Arab social influence in Egypt, was replaced by neoliberalism. Fucking neoliberalism! And we need to clip that. Sweet. Political strong and other with massive principles. This internal area depends almost entirely on the Egyptian policy. It becomes steadfast along both the United States government and Israel. Later views mostly Egypt with enemy. I think that you read that again. In the international area, Mabaraka's almost entirely transitioning into policy, becoming an ally of the United States government and Israel, later visiting most of Egypt, emptied allies from 50 Egypt against between 19 and 1973. Interesting. During Nasser's lifetime, Nasser's government went encouraged and offered support financial to Egyptians to extend the many. Sorry, I can't read. During Nasser's lifetime, Nasser's government were encouraged and offered support financially by Egypt to extend the many become seen as willing agents of the Egyptian government in forces to spread revolution and that. Let me. During Nasser's lifetime, Nasser's governments were encouraged and offered support financially by Egypt to extend their mainly because it seemed willing agreed to the Egyptian government and its effort to spread revolution nationalism in the Arab world. In 1970s, the younger generation of Arab came to the national Nasser outside Egypt. The younger generation of Arab came to the for Nasser outside Egypt. Mentioned into other Arabic nationalists in the Pan-Arabic movement, including common groups of Lebanese nationalist movement, the Lebanese Civil War. These many nationalist movements could continue to be active until today. The Lebanese seem as many represented by organizations in Sibon and maybe the element. What is the Modito Al-Morabitun movement? What is the Al-Morabitun movement? Arabian socialism, Arabian Nasserism, anti-imperialism, Pan-Arabism. For things like that call themselves left-wing, they sometimes aren't. Like in situations like that, they'll sometimes just pretend to be left-wing, which I don't know. I don't know if it's actually left-wing or not. Continue reading about Nasser though. Like obviously, like the Soviet Union pretended to be very far left-wing, and look how it was. Both groups have been mainly active since early Soviet and Arab margin and eighth collaborative. Nasser continued to have significant responses through the Arab world. His influence, much as the public diagram opposition in Egypt, as wide in within regions. Prominent Nasserists. I read Thomas Hussein. I am legitimately slow. Sorry, people. I saw a H, and we were talking about fucking Nasserism, and I knew like Baathism is also technically a form of Arab socialism. So I just read something saying that this feels very racist. Believe it. They're racist as people. There are many racist people, including the next president of the U.S. government, which which both of them, both candidates, compared to the final round in Egypt president election, and only narrow avoids origin. The problem with Nasserist Hara Sada competed in, competed in competed in the first round of the Egyptian presidential election and only narrowly avoided securing a position in the runoff around event of winning of mayoral. In the late presidential election, there was only two candidates in the runoff, but lost the other candidate out of in significant landslide victory for the later. Okay. Nasserism in broad terms were used in to describe the aspects of Nasser rule and literature that can be interpreted in many ways. Granted that there is a multitude of ways that which terms were used in P.'s book Nasserism and Generationism, arguing that Nasser had limited political connotations and as limited political connotations as phenomenon of characteristic leadership and not movement of ideology. Personal and not a movement of ideology, okay. So Nasserism don't actually exist. Interesting. Vaticus elaborated upon Nasser's use of speech as political tool to saw his conscience despite Nasser used the speech as a political tool to swear his constitutional despite the deprivation of any partisans in the leader politics. To this end, Nasser frequently added masses of both radio and television, and well in huge rallies with a repeated hypothetical include of indication of imperialism and against imperialism, reactionism and against imperialism, reactions and revenge during Safavid, Zionism and Arabism. Crowned was so he was a populist. So was it maybe it was Egyptian Trump? I don't think he's. I think he was too pro-Labour to be Egyptian Trump. Crowds were classified to high Nasser's existed that hope and aspect strong leadership and Arab unity. In practically Nasserism, not to Paul Anima discussed about inspiration of Nasserism, according to Western social scientists in 1960 previewed Nasserism as a modern move of Nasserism as modern leadership in future. Okay, I'm getting bored. I'm getting bored. Can we just skip to ideology? But you can't even communicate with me, even if you wanted to. This is a pre-recorded video. We're skipping to ideology, baby. Ideology. Nasser is an Arab nationalism. Oh, I fucking hate nationalism. Controversial position. Yeah. And pan-Arab ideology combining various different socialism, combining with a vague definition of socialism. When have we? But with vague, often dis. I having an Aiden Ross move. I'm having an Aiden Ross moment. Sorry. What does this mean? Oh, I'm so fucking. Don't worry. There are people with much bigger audiences which are much more stupid than me. Okay, I have 4 subscribers. Stop, stop worrying. Distinguished from Eastern Bloc or Western thoughts by Labour Arab socialists, though opposed an ideology to Western capitalism, Arab socialism also developed as rejection of communism, which had seen the So as a social democracy, well, it's not. NASA, NASA used the word socialism correctly, you dumbass. God, you're the reason that when you talk to conservatives, they don't know what socialism means. Okay, socialism. Socialism's the lower form of communism. Socialism will naturally go towards communism. Blah 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 blah. Do I have to recite the Des Capital to you guys? Okay, which had seen an income with Arab traditions and religious underpinnings of Arab society. As Congress, Nasser from 1950 to 1990 sought to prevent the rise of communism in the Arab world and avoided and event would and advocated harsh penalties to and or identified attempt to spread communism within the region. Okay, does Arab communism make sense? Yeah, it's just communism. Communism is a left wing to far left sociological. Okay, actually, this is correct. Left wing to far left. There's so much good clips that can come from this video. Communism, left wing to far left, is a left wing to far left social philosophy and economic ideology. Wikipedia is actually probably correct. Nobody communism could be fucking right wing for could be left wing. Yeah, left wing, far left. This is very weird because we normally think of communism as far left ideology, but to be fair, it could be just a left wing one. What is this socialist? Why? Wait, maybe in Rojava. No, in Rojava, communism would be centrist position. Which countries communism a left wing position, just not a far left? Rojava will be like a centrist position. Actually, no, maybe Rojava. There are conservative capitalist parties in Rojava, so maybe I guess long live Rojava. Which though mindful of specific though though mid full of spiritual heritage of the Arab world though mindful of spiritual heritage of the Arab world as with Baptism, Nasserism is large and secular ideology, just as with other manufacturations and national, it led to direct conflict with ideologies as with Islamic orientation political movement in the Arab world from 90s onward, particularly the partition of Muslim particularly the Muslim Brotherhood. I am having so much fucking Aiden Ross moments. Jesus fucking Christ. But to be fair, Aiden Ross is turned towards me. This video is gonna have 0 views. Nasserism exposed the end of Western interest in the Arab affairs, development of world solidarity, international non-alignment, modernization and industrialization. Nasser himself was opposed vehemently to Western imperialism and Arab view of that, and Zionism and Europeanism of the Arab on Arab soil. Okay, these things are based. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Khalaf described Nasser as an Arab socialist, secular and pan-Arab. A Republican in this term means supporting a republic. Nasser didn't believe Joe Biden was a secret drag king. Tom Nicholas reference. Nationalism, particularly centered to the National, was anti-imperialism. Nasser was one of the most founders of the non-aligned movement. The section of the movement can be seen through its policy, which was al-neutrality in the also known is a neutral within neutralize the through the importance of non-religious education, religious is that a school of Islam, or is it literally just church? Is a in Cairo. So this is like a bad translation. Oh yes, Nasser defeated a mosque by becoming more secular. What's special about this mosque? It's the biggest one in Egypt or something. The slogans adopted by Nasser and his movement got Nasserism a popular characteristic. After coming to power, the movement defined itself as being following principle, described as imperialism as strong among Egypt's trend, ending of feudalism, the end of monopoly and dominant capital of government, establishment of social justice, form a strong national army, establish a sound democratic life. Okay, here's to tell if a movement's fascist. If it has syncretist thoughts, fucking hate this Ross moment. He's haunting me right now. His low IQ is freezing my brain. Thermodynamics. Foundation of a strong national army is only real, you can argue it's like a right-wing idea in this. Just know, syncretism, the mixture of right-wing and left-wing ideas, isn't just bad because we don't want right-wing ideas in it. It's a sign that they don't actually believe anything and therefore probably fascists. Like people who make shit up to get in power and probably are 99.999% chance either fascists or neoliberals. And as is not a neoliberal, so he's either fascist, which is probably not. So he's not, because these are all left-wing rhetoric. So he's crossed the bar of having at least a left-wing rhetoric. Let's see if he has actual left-wing policy. One of the most unique properties of Nasserism was the embracement of socialism, an ideology hitherto deeply popular in Egypt. No social was treated with started pre-Egypt, as socialism was considered to be inherently anti-religious doctrine that stood of transition and anti-religion. However, Nasser adopted the term socialism independent several meanings to it and implemented several meanings to it. With the first was Nasser's commitment to social was ambiguous and often included contradictory concepts. The movement wasn't waived in problem. As a result, Nasser made it very popular among Arab masses. I mean, that's what some. Okay, quick history lesson. That's some of the thing that Nazis did. You don't what Nazis were actually called National Socialists. Their idea of socialism wasn't socialism. Like, their idea of socialism was mass privatization. So, it looks like socialism was not supported by the. Believing contradictory things might be a show of an ideological syncretism. He's not. Nasser doesn't have any actual ideology. He's just making sure. In the world, Nasser adopted along with Europe under Joseph and India under whoever this guy is, was a major problem of the non-Allied movement, which avoided developing continent in even bloc. However, otherwise, the policy of governments organization of Egypt's relation with the West powers in However, notwithstanding this policy and government suppressed communist organization with Egypt destroyed relations with the Western power, political towards relations with Egypt heavily depending on military and civil assistance in the US. Saw the same true revolutionary Arab government is right and Arab both into strong logistical relations with the communist states, while the Egyptian-Soviet alliance continued to persist in Nasser's president, and especially with the relation of the Arab-Israeli conflict. Okay, do you want to learn about Nasserism today? Nasser and Che Guevara. Cuba did everything to get small countries tend to have weird relations compared to their actual ideology because they care more about preservation than spreading their ideology. So let's read a bit of this and then we can turn off. Arab social, Arab nationalism, Arab Titoism. Despite being questionably Arab, despite being questionably a quintessentially Arab idea, Nasser influenced left-wing. I don't want. Nasser remains political force throughout the war, but marked different made that in its heyday. Whereas in 1959, Nasser exists as a revolutionary dynamic movement which defined its goals. By 1988, it had become much less pronounced and distant ideology. Today, many Arabs are influenced by Nasser in general sense than actually express the specific idea of jihad. In terms, political organization with Egypt itself are during the president from Egypt. Nasser's scope was confined generated by writers. Nasser's scope was confined generated writers, intellectual and minor operational parties. So Nasser has a lot of influence. He doesn't actually. Nasser's scope was of intellectuals and Nasser movement were largely overshadowed by Islamic political organizations, especially Muslim groups. This was a part overthrow of Egypt and Arab world. The Arab nationalism became overshadowed and eventually eclipsed by political Islamism. In Egypt, the Nasser's party style, so the Nasser and Arab Socialist Union were done by its offshoot the campaign. However, as an opposition party in Egypt, the action was limited. Right. However, as with all opposition parties in Egypt, their activity was severely limited by the regime prior to the Egyptian revolution. Whilst the Nasser government in Egypt through struggle through a struggle authoritarian one-party state, the extreme limits on any form of political discipline. Today, Nasser stressed the support of democracy, explained Nasser thought expressed necessary to implement revolutionary policies. Oh, that's nice. So what did we learn? I don't know. I think it's I think we learned it's quite a thing. I think we call it Pinochet. No, not Pinochet. Peroni. What we learn? Nasserism is Egyptian Peronism. Okay, Peronism. Egyptian Peronism is Nasserism. Okay. I like the Arab eagle. The Arab eagle. Is that actually a word? Arab eagle. The Wikipedia. It has. Okay, it's its own thing. It's its own thing. The Arab Eagle's actual thing. Wow. Okay, we can talk about that next. This has been nearly half an hour, so I probably should stop.